Daily Mass Readings and Reflection. July 30th, 2023. First reading is taken from the book of 1 Kings chapter 3. Verses 5, 7 to 12. The Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream at night. God said, "Ask something of me and I will give it to you." Solomon answered, "O Lord, my God, you have made me, your servant, king to succeed my father David, but I am a mere youth, not knowing at all how I serve you in the midst of the people whom you have chosen, a people so vast that it cannot be numbered or counted. Give your servant, therefore, an understanding heart to judge your people and to distinguish right from wrong. For who is able to govern this vast people of yours?" The Lord was pleased that Solomon made this request. So God said to him, "Because you have asked for this, not for a long life for yourself, nor for riches, nor for the life of your enemies, but for understanding so that you may know what is right, I do as you requested. I give you a heart so wise and understanding that there has never been anyone like you up to now, and after you there will come no one to equal you." Responsorial Psalm. Lord, I love your commands. Second reading is taken from the book of Romans chapter 8. Verses 28 to 30. Brothers and sisters, we know that all things work for good for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. For those he foreknew he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, so that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those he predestined he also called, and those he called he also justified, and those he justified he also glorified. Gospel. A reading is taken from the book according to St. Matthew chapter 13, verses 44 to 52. Or chapter 13, verses 44 to 46. Treasures new and old. Jesus said to his disciples, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure buried in a field, which a person finds and hides again, and out of joy goes and sells all that he has and buys that field." Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant searching for fine pearls. When he finds a pearl of great price, he goes and sells all that he has and buys it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net thrown into the sea, which collects fish of every kind. When it is full they haul it ashore and sit down to put what is good into buckets. What is bad they throw away. Thus it will be at the end of the age. The angels will go out and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. Do you understand all these things? They answered, "Yes." And he replied, "Then every scribe who has been instructed in the kingdom of heaven is like the head of a household who brings from his storeroom both the new and the old." Today's reflection of our Holy Gospel. Pearl of great price. What do we ask of God in prayer? Solomon's request from God is an understanding or discerning heart to enable him to make right decisions while reigning as a king. This portrays Solomon as a wise man in his choice of the more valuable gift from God. In the Gospel, Jesus likens the kingdom of heaven to a treasure buried in a field and a pearl of great price. Things that any sensible merchant will be willing to acquire despite great loss because he knows that the profit is even greater than the loss. Following Jesus and adopting his values ultimately leads us to decisions with potential losses on our part. We can lose connections, comforts, and opportunities if we adhere to the gospel. Jesus reminds us that such losses are expendable compared to the gains of the gospel. And what great gains indeed, since we are talking of eternal life and eternal happiness. We are talking of being with God, the supreme good. Catholic hagiographies provide many examples of saints losing everything in order to gain the pearl of great price. We have Saint Ignatius of Loyola and Saint Francis of Assisi who let go of nobility and wealth in order to live a life closer to Jesus. Saint Edith Stein left her inquisitive intellectual search to embrace the beauty of Catholic truth. Apostles, martyrs, confessors, and virgins are a cloud of witnesses, encouraging us in our struggle to gain eternal life. Sacred scriptures speak of paradoxical losing and gaining. Jesus teaches, "Whoever loves his life loses it, and whoever hates his life in this world will preserve it for eternal life." John chapter 12, verse 25. Elsewhere, he declares, "What profit is there for one to gain the whole world and forfeit his life?" Mark chapter 8, verse 36. We are asked to be sensible and weigh in how much we stand to win if we learn to let go of things of lesser importance. We will then see that the temporal fades in the light of eternity and the material loses luster vis-a-vis the spiritual.